It's official.
All
We're
right.
here.
Yep.
We're here.
The first one. Welcome to the Put Me in Coach podcast. Just a couple of guys talking football. Our football knowledge goes back to a couple of years of high school football.
Yeah.
But we watch all the games. We love to talk shit about it. And that's why we're here. We want to make a platform where you guys can come in and not feel like you have to know everything. We're not going to sell you that we know everything because those guys are liars. And
Totally.
yeah, I mean, we honestly just wanted to make a platform that just kind of gives like people who genuinely love the sport and love watching the game a conversation to talk about it the way you would with your friends at a bar without
100%.
having this feeling of analytics or these other things or, these qualified guys, quote unquote, that, it gets stale after a while. So we wanted to make
100%
content
it does.
that we wanted to watch. So
100%.
thank you guys for coming.
Yep. My name's Andy,
Yeah.
by the way. This is Ian.
I'm Ian.
Yep. We are two dipshits from Ann Arbor, Michigan who
Yep.
love football more than we love most things in life. And
Yep.
I currently reside a little bit outside of Detroit, and Ian over here stays in Los Angeles. So
Yep.
we have, we have kind of the bases covered as far as like what we're able to consume on a weekly basis and what we're able to, how we're able to digest the game. And yeah, I think we're just here to converse with you guys and hopefully build a following of a lot of guys like us who just don't really have any accolades to really talk the game at a deep level, but here the fuck we are. So,
But we watch the game. We spend our Sundays watching the games. We watch
obsess
all of
over
it.
it.
Yeah, we take in everything.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of people out there. I've had the privilege of going to a lot of stadiums the past couple of years and talking to fans. There's a lot of people out there that are like that, where they just, they see it. And you talk to a lot of guys. When I was in Dallas last year at the Cowboys game, talking to guys who have more insight into the team and into what's going on than the stuff you're watching on ESPN.
100%.
So for me, it feels like we're in a new era of talking about things as BS. And there's a lot of guys online trying to sell you that they know everything, that they have the answers, whether it's real football or fantasy football or gambling, whatever it is. And we're just not interested in that. We want to give our takes. We want to have fun, hoping to build an audience that we can interact with and, talk shit with. And, yeah, I think we're just super pumped. And we're all just counting down the NFL season. So thanks
100%.
for joining me, and thanks for being here, bro.
Yes, sir. Of course. What do you want to talk about first? What do you want to dive into?
Well, we're Lions fans. We'll get into the new uniforms, I think.
Yeah,
I think we'll get into the new
sounds good.
uniforms. 1 to 10, how do you feel?
As a whole, or are we talking about like each one?
As a whole, and then give me each one.
I'm gonna say as a whole, like a 7.5. Just because I have my gripes with the black and the white uniforms, but man, the home blues are, in my opinion, just absolutely perfect.
Tens?
If I was to rank like each one, I'd say like 10, probably like 8 out of 10. I really like the whites. I just don't like that little Detroit over the letter, the numbers. I don't. That's the one gripe I have. And then the blacks are
Very
like
Tennessee
they're like.
Titans.
Yeah, exactly. And
little,
the blacks
we know who
are
you
like
are.
the blacks are cool, but they're not like, the helmets are very like, it's giving XFL. So I feel like that it makes it unserious. If you ask me, it's kind of like this feels unserious to me, and then
I feel anytime you're ripping off the Carolina Panthers, you're off to a bad start,
yeah,
and that's how I
it's
feel with
not a
that.
good look.
It's just that it's a copy of that Panthers thing they did, which aren't the worst, but it's already been done by a team that sucks.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
No, don't put that on me at all. Ricky
Don't
Bobby.
put that evil on me.
No,
don't put that pepper
up.
on me.
No, it's real, dude. It's just like, I don't know. And like, to be fair, we're probably only going to see them like once or twice this year. So like, I can deal, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it because it could have gone so poorly. Like if you look at those Houston leaks, they're just like bad. You're like, fuck, dude, we have to like really like commit to these. Like there can't be like there's not like a redesign.
Yeah, I hope that there is like some clarity on that. But you know who I think got it better than us?
The Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jets.
Yeah.
The Jets are, but
the Jets nailed all three.
The Jets is easier in my opinion, just because you're dealing with like they've never really had like all their jerseys are kind of similar. Like they've
Well, they had a whole different era for a long time with those like in like the 2000s and 2010s with the green and white and like the jet. I didn't think those uniforms were very sick.
No, they really weren't. I just feel like they've always had like. You said what?
It's a change.
Oh, it's definitely a change. It's definitely a change. I feel like they played it very safe though. Like they just were like, hey, like.
But they nailed
but it.
It
works.
The white face
yeah,
mask,
no, it works.
The
no, it
stripes,
works. Like,
the black alternate looks really cool.
Yeah.
Cooler than ours, unfortunately.
Yeah. Much cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with
Black
you.
helmets.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the blacks. I know the fan base is really going to like that. I mean, I was going through Instagram kind of looking at some of their early stuff.
They love it.
Was like,
I
can't wait to get the black jersey. I got to copy one of those black
Yeah.
jerseys. Like, no, you don't, fam. Like, save your $200.
Everybody on Twitter was like showing their like cart, and they were like, yeah, like checking out.
Are they out
It was
for
all
sale already?
the Pede School. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The Pede School jersey's gone already for black. It's completely sold out.
Yeah,
I think Amon Ra was sold out.
I won't be copying the black. Will you?
No, oh god, no. I wouldn't even think about it. It would literally be here. I still have it up actually, so I'll see what we got left. Okay, so it looks like Hutch Black still there.
That's surprising. Why are people buying Panay Sewell over Hutch? I don't understand that.
I think it's probably because he's the best player on the team. Legitimately speaking, you know what I mean?
I don't give a crap. I would never wear an offensive line jersey ever.
I feel you.
That's just me.
Yeah, it looks like Hutch is available. Amon Ra and Gibbs are available. There's no Goff. It looks like there's Barry Sanders. You know they can't help themselves with that one.
Yeah, let it die, please.
Yeah. Oh, there is a Goff. It's the blue one though. It's not the black ones. Doesn't look to be available.
Are they authentics or are they like?
No, there's the authentic. Yeah, they have the authentic ones for $1.75, and then they have the cheap the cheap one. You know, the regular ones for $1.30. Okay. So yeah, Malcolm Rodriguez and David Montgomery. No thanks.
David Montgomery.
No JMO. Like, come on.
You want our RB2?
No Laporta. Like, okay.
It'll come.
Rodrigo,
I'm never the first guy to like do the like lineup outside the store for the thing. It's like if I'm gonna cop one, I'll wait until August to buy it. Like, there'll be plenty of Amon Ra, St. Brown, good quality.
That's real. I think I'm gonna try to go down to the draft next Thursday for a couple hours. Ooh. It opens at like noon. You know.
Yeah.
It's like a noon to 10 thing. So I think we're gonna barring like good weather. Like if it's shitty outside, I'm not gonna go. But I heard
it was nice today.
It was great today. Yeah, it was great.
I love that. I love that for y'all.
Yeah. So if it's nice next Thursday, I'm gonna pop down there for a couple hours. Right. I think I'd rather be back here for the legitimate draft just because I'm like so like locked in. You know, like I would like to watch it live with you, and so we could like.
I would like to live stream if we could.
Yeah. No.
Somewhere.
I think
on
Instagram
that's maybe or something.
Yeah, no, we can do it on YouTube. I think for sure. I think what we can do is we can link this this channel with our YouTube channel, and it'll live stream right on there. That's what we did last year for the draft. Funny enough, we live streamed the whole first. Yeah, we live streamed the whole first whatchamacallit round.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely doable. But I think it'd be cool to go down there. Check it out. See what's popping down there for a little bit, but
I do. Yeah, I would like to go if it was here. I'd probably try to get somebody to come with me and pop down there. I think on that note, let's get into it, man.
Yeah,
let's get into the draft. It's
draft talk.
Free agency's over.
Johnny Manziel.
10 years later, how am I the man still?
Facts.
Draft day. A. Wiggins. I like how Isn't it kind of funny that he made that song and it was such a banger at the time, and it was just like Anthony Wiggins was just kind of like a B tier guy, and Johnny Manziel was a total bust. It was like, that didn't age well, huh?
No,
Jennifer Lawrence can still get it though, so that you got one thing down.
Man,
you could still really get it. Yeah. Bad line though with the die for my district thing, but the Jennifer Lawrence part, I agree.
Oh wow.
So we're going to go through our top 10, and we're just going to do that. We're going to talk about it. We're going to shoot the shit. Mock drafts are fake. Full disclosure.
Yes,
I think it's really important that we say that before we get into it. I think people get really too...
Sorry, I'm just pulling up. I'm pulling up the order. Just
I think people get way too sucked into it, where it's like,
I totally agree.
God, like my team would never... It's like, yeah, dude. I mean, probably. Like, the reason why we're not doing a full first round is because... You guys don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. We're going to be wrong on a bunch of stuff. We have no idea who's going to trade up and take who where. But the first 10 are fun. And we're going to talk about some of these guys, some of these teams. But yeah, I'm in. I'm into it.
Sure. I mean, one is not very interesting, actually. It's just kind of like, it's Caleb. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
100%, but... The player's interesting. No?
The player's super interesting. No, the player's incredibly interesting. I'm just saying, like, there's no mystery behind number one. Like, we all know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Even like a couple of years ago, like with like Trayvon Walker and Hutchinson, they're like up until like literal draft moment, it was like, who are they going to go with?
Fail,
like,
Jacksonville.
Really? No. Yeah, huge fail.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. We'll take him. Thank you. I do wonder, like, do you ever think about this? Like, I almost want to ask Brad Holmes, like, what was the play if Hutch was not available? Was it just Trayvon Walker? Because Trayvon Walker does not strike me as like a. Yeah, I'm curious who it would have been.
No, I'd have to go through that. That draft class was weak. Yeah.
It was. It felt like the stars were kind of scattered. Like ultimately, you know what I mean? Like I think you could justify taking Kyle Hamilton at 2. In that position, but like that would have been like asinine at that moment.
He's
that
would have been
asinine, but he's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like he's like
a
all
Ravens
pro
player though, right?
He's the most Ravens.
You gotta love it. You gotta love the Ravens.
Yeah,
for just doing this.
Yeah, that was like Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and them. Like I think they were all in that draft.
Right.
Weren't they?
That's the draft we took up. We traded up to get Jameson Williams.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys. There was a lot of like. There was no definitive guy like there is with this draft where we have like a guy that's going number 1. Well, first things first, we hate the Bears. That's number 1. So
Fuck the Bears.
We'll get that out of the way now. It's the elephant in the room. It's the bear in the room. It's fine. We don't care. We're honest. The Bears suck. That doesn't mean
that had Sauce Gardner going forth too. Yeah, that might have been the play.
Hey, the Jets ate in that draft.
That could have been the play.
Sauce?
Because Brad Holmes is he's like a cornerback guy.
Sauce is better than Hutch, no?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no argument against it.
Yeah, no
argument.
I'm just looking. I'm looking to see who else was taken in that. Trent McDuffie, he was a dog. He still is. I don't know.
He had such a great season this past year, man.
Kyle Hamilton. Garrett Wilson.
It was a defensive draft, I feel like. Well, they Drake London too, but I think
Derek
the Jets.
Derek Stingley's good. He's not Sauce, so he's like kind of overlooked.
He's what?
He's not Sauce Gardner, so he's kind of overlooked. They're like, damn, you guys drafted Derek Stingley over Sauce Gardner. It's like, yeah, but Derek Stingley's still really good. You know what I mean?
Derek Stingley's nice. Yeah, and I like the D'Amico Ryans head coaching. I think it's going to do great for him. I think he's going to have a really good career. But he'll be like the Antonio Cromartie to the Darrell Revis, where it's just kind of like, I mean, you're not Darrell Revis. It's like, yeah, but he's a dog. Like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah,
fans are annoying. Speaking of a guy who might not be a dog, the Bears are taking Caleb number 1.
Yeah,
we feel that way. You feel that way. We all feel that way. I think the question is, do you feel like Caleb is a lock to be a star player in the NFL?
No. I think Caleb is a lock to be a very good player in the NFL. I don't see bust when I really like listen to like people, because I'm not, you know what I mean? I can't watch footage and be like, oh wow, he does this really well, or he does this like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I'm not great at like breaking down game film, I guess if you will. But I do,
Right.
but I
Watching
do
the all
know,
22 and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm not that guy, but I do know who to watch, whose opinion I have taken notes on over the years, and who has mostly been correct. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like in their
But not
evaluations,
Chris
and I think
Sims.
not Chris Sims. No, Chris Sims is really fucking bad at that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but you know, like I think JT O'Sullivan's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he
I
rocks.
mean, I think Theo Ash is really good at that. There's a
Yeah.
handful of guys who I think
Yeah.
are really good at that. Um, yeah, and I don't. I hear the word generational get thrown around a lot. I don't think he's generational at all. I think he's got like a lot he needs to polish in his game, but I do think that he can really extend a play. I think that's like his best attribute. That's like where his like Superman power comes in. Is like his ability to kind of like evade.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Holds
change
on
in
to
the
the ball a
NFL.
little long, though, doesn't he?
No, he does, and that's what I mean. Like that's gonna change in the NFL.
That
Like
ball out, brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
he could be a Fields 2.0 situation, but I think he's better than Fields, and I think Fields was really showing so much upside, and I think that is a good like. As much as I want to like fucking be like I hate the Bears, like I don't see them being like some powerhouse next year, but I do think they'll be a problem. You know what I mean? Like I think they're like an 8 to 10 win team, like potentially. You know, the wheels could completely fall off, and they could be like. It just depends. It depends. Like I think if he reaches his ceiling, like his rookie year ceiling, I should say, not like his career ceiling, but like his rookie year ceiling, which is like, I feel like it's probably 8 wins, maybe, you know, and you know, I think the floor to like not be considered a bust should be like 6 wins.
Yeah.
Anything below
I
that
think
with that roster is kind of like, ugh, dude, you might not be it.
I think he has the potential to bust. And
Really? How come?
Yes. This. We've never
Yeah.
seen.
No, that's real.
We've never. And it. By the way, this is part of like our mission statement. I'm not going to come in here and say that I think he's going to be a bust because I've seen him play football and he's nice. And
Yep, fully.
I don't like the whole fan thing of being like, oh, he's going to bust, you know, just because you don't like the Bears or you don't like him or whatever it is. I also don't like the other thing of not critically thinking and not looking at the pieces on the chessboard and going, okay, this thing matters to me, and letting guys like, you know, I think they're great at what they do, but guys like Joel Klatt and Colin Cowherd tell you that you're not allowed to suspect that maybe there might be some red flags with this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's lazy thinking how much we've been beaten over the head with how good this guy is, and there's no chance that he could be an issue. And I think there's two major reasons why he's a bust concern for me. Not that I think he will be, but it's a concern. I'm more concerned than like the average person who's like he's going to be a dog. And number one, it's his personality. Yeah. All of these guys that we've seen be taken as this top tier franchise quarterback going into the NFL had very rock solid leader personalities.
Yes.
Caleb is like a wide receiver to me. It's a bit concerning. Not that I care. I love wide receivers. It's my favorite position in football. But I think there's a lot of social media, a lot of diva behavior, a lot of you know, it's the crying, it's the nails painted, it's the going after people on Twitter. It's all of these things I don't care about. But for franchise quarterbacks, it's different. You just don't see. You never saw Andrew Luck doing that. You never saw Burrow doing that. You never saw Lawrence doing that. No. People use. You've used Aaron Rodgers as an example of a guy that has that behavior. Not coming into the NFL. That was year 5, year 6, year 7. Aaron, who was very well established, who had won an MVP, who had won a Super Bowl, who was a dog, and he started becoming a little diva-y. I don't really care about that. That's not my problem. You do you. I love personality. I just think it worries me a little bit as a franchise quarterback. Number 2, we've never seen Chicago draft and develop a quarterback successfully. Not once.
Yeah.
Now, we're Lions fans, so I understand the hypocrisy of we've never seen it, ergo you're bad forever. But, you know, we talk a lot about Patrick Mahomes. We talk a lot about how great Patrick Mahomes is and how this guy is the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. And
that's ridiculous in my opinion.
I don't think we factor in Mahomes' situation.
No.
What Mahomes was drafted to is an all-time great situation, period.
Yes.
Like, we've never seen a talented rookie get drafted at that pick, that position, with that talent into that situation, and I don't know that we'll see it again. I mean that genuinely. I don't know that we will see a rookie who's that good and talented get drafted into that position.
Yeah.
Caleb could be.
Well, he
as good as
sat for a
Patrick
year
Mahomes.
too. You know what I mean?
He
Like
sat
Caleb's
for a year, but he sat for a year behind Alex Smith, who is
a great
one
leader,
of the,
by the way.
All accounts, a high IQ, high locker room leader guy. They were a playoff team.
Yep.
The defense was good. Andy Reid is the best offensive head coach of all time. Travis Kelce is the considered to be the greatest tight end of all time. There's a couple other names that people could debate. I'm personally a Gronk guy, but
Same.
Travis Kelce, if that's your argument, you win. I can't debate you.
Yeah. It's right
Tyreek
there.
Hill's the top 3 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yep.
So, and besides that, there's the upper deck stuff. There's the Hunt family, great owners.
Yep.
There's Brett
Yep.
Veach, GM. I mean, all of these things lining up is frankly insane. And I just, even if Caleb is as good as Patrick Mahomes, let's take that as it is, right? Let's let the prognosticators and all these guys tell us that we don't know what we're talking about and that he's better than Patrick Mahomes. Fine. I'll meet you there. He's going to the Bears, not the Chiefs in 2017 or 18. It's different.
Well, and that applies. That kind of applies. Like that logic you have. It applies to like a lot of the all-time greats, right? Like you look at Brady, like drafted in the 6th round to like the best defensive coach of all time with this unbelievable team who has this unbelievable GM and owner. It's like, okay, like
but they weren't even unbelievable when he was drafted there. That's the thing. Like
not really.
They were. I think they were like 17-point underdogs in the Super Bowl that year that Brady got them there. Like they were not considered to be like dogs. Like nobody was thinking about the Patriots. Drew Bledsoe had led them to a Super Bowl several years earlier, but that was a completely different team at that point. Bill Parcells wasn't even their coach anymore. So totally different situation. And they didn't really build offensively for Brady until a few years into his career. I'm more speaking of the stability standpoint. You know what I mean? Like you got like
organizational. You have like Peyton in there who by all accounts is a top 5 quarterback. But man, he really like when you look at like accolades as far as like team success, like it's kind of a fail. You know what I mean? Like especially when you look at like Indianapolis, but Indianapolis has like not a good owner, not a good like historically like not a great GM. Like they were able to like get it together because they realized they like had a guy, but they also they picked number 1 that year. You know what I mean? Like 97, 98, like they picked number 1 because they stunk.
Well, and Peyton led the league in interceptions that season. I mean, it was
100%.
It was a messy rookie year.
And they got really lucky with like the Edgerrin James pick. Like kind of took it. That was very much like Jahmyr Gibbs,
Bob Sanders,
Bijan Robinson, where
Marvin
everybody
Harrison,
was like Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're gonna take Edgerrin James, and this guy's just gonna like be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Ricky was nice. Ricky was real nice too, but he was a bit of a head case.
100%.
Yeah. Well, you got Dallas Clark at tight end, great tight end, dog.
Yeah.
Dwight Freeney, pass rush, dog. Bob Sanders, safety, undersized, injury problems. Had he been healthy and maybe just a bit bigger, we're talking about him up there, how we talk about Dawkins and Pollum. I mean, you and I were old enough to remember how good he was. He was disgusting. Yes. So that team got loaded, but that was only in like the mid 2000s. I mean, his first several years, it was a crap.
It was not
team.
great. Yeah, I mean, look, fucking John Elway was supposed to go there, and he was like, "No, I'm not going to play for you guys."
That's right. Yeah, the draft day demand.
Yeah.
I mean, Eli did that too with the Chargers situation.
Yeah.
And Eli went to a good situation in New York.
Yeah.
But Eli was never nice like that. I mean, it's my everybody wants to have, and that's the thing. Like that's why I want to do my own content, because I want to have the ability to talk about things the way that I see them, not what you tell me I have to believe. And when I watch him play, I see a guy who's really, really good. Going to a team that's better than like most number ones. Like he's not going to the Trevor Lawrence Jags. He's not going to the Joe Burrow Bengals. He's not going to the Luck Colts. They're an okay team.
Yeah.
but I don't see like this idea that like, oh, it's gonna go well, it's gonna crush. The Bears are coming. Maybe.
Yeah.
I need to see.
I don't think. Yeah. I think it takes a guy.
Here's what I want to say about my final point about his personality.
Yeah. Sure.
It might work. We've never seen it work, but it might work.
Yep.
But here's the problem with what he's doing going into the draft. What he's doing, the stuff that the eccentricities, if you will. By the way, I love that. I love flavor in people. I don't mind it at all. But now you've got to be better than you had to be because you're not going to be tolerated if you suck.
Yes.
They're going to get your ass out of there. That locker room's going to turn 100%. On you fast.
100%.
You're putting yourself. You're building a greater pressure than a guy like Trevor. Trevor, we all knew he had a goofball coach, legendary college coach, but he was a goofball that year. He was out in strip club. It was BS. Everybody loves Joe Burrow, right? Andrew Luck was liked and respected. He was solid. We're dealing with a situation. CJ's, by all accounts, like a very liked guy.
Yeah.
So by doing a lot of this stuff, you got to really hope. Like if he comes out balling, it's not going to matter.
It's a bit Baker.
But if he
it's a bit Baker Mayfield. Yeah.
Oh boy, well, they ate Baker alive.
Yeah, they did, and it was like 100%.
They ate him alive. And by the way, Baker's stuff wasn't really like this. It was different. It was like kind of frat boy, like punk, chip on the shoulder type stuff.
Yep.
Caleb's is like. It's diva behavior. It's Hollywood.
Yeah,
it's look at me. It's and like I said, I mean, if he was if this was like Marv or Malik Neighbors, I wouldn't blink about this. I'd be like, what? He's got character. Screw you. He's dope. He's franchise QB, a little bit different, We just never seen it, so I could be wrong. Bears fans get to take that victory lap if he turns into a Hall of Famer. But this idea that you have a lock, everyone's telling you that you're the prettiest girl in the room right now. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Pump the brakes a little bit. That's all.
Well, how many like we can go back. We can go back 25 years, really. I mean, how many number one overall drafted quarterbacks have hit?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, there's tons of there's like obvious busts, like Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf.
Yeah.
Then you have like your early first rounders like Rosen. Darnold's been flat. I mean, you're counting your chickens before they hatch. I mean, look, this idea that he's the best we've ever seen, arguably coming out of college, I don't see like way better than Trevor. And Trevor has not been a first team top 5, arguably top 10 quarterback even. And Jacksonville sucks, but you got to be careful. Us Lions fans remember a number one quarterback once upon a time, and he was a dog.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively, right? He was a Georgia Bulldog. He was him.
Yeah.
He was the greatest arm talent Texas had ever seen, and he was nice. He was good for us.
Yeah.
He was a really good quarterback, and we didn't win one playoff game, one division.
Yeah.
0. And we watched that man get traded and win a ring his first year in Los Angeles. And you got to be careful when you start going, oh, we're back. And I know that fan bases need hope. I'm not trying to like poo-poo that.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah. So we got 99 was Tim Couch, a bust. I'm just gonna do quarterbacks. 2001 was Michael Vick, a good player, an overrated player.
Didn't win shit.
Yeah, an overrated player though.
Yeah, dog. I mean, he was a dog, but he was.
No, he was, but like
he didn't win.
He's Allen Iverson in the NFL.
Weren't his best? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Iverson made a finals, right? He didn't even make a Super Bowl. Weren't his best years arguably with Andy Reid? Ironically.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, it's funny. We don't think of it that way. We think of him as a Falcon. But if you really think about it in terms of like success, it was Andy. It was Andy with the Eagles, right? With Deshaun Jackson, like
that team was sick.
They didn't like go to the Super Bowl. I mean, they were they were like a good team. They were like all right.
David Carr was a bust. Carson Palmer was really good, but he never won anything because he went to an unserious franchise.
Yep.
Eli Manning, he's great. Eli
Smith, Manning is great because of the Super Bowls, but Eli Manning as a quarterback is
mid,
vastly overrated.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
you know what's crazy about that? I want a tangent
But
about Eli Manning.
When
Yeah.
when it mattered, Eli came through.
I saw somebody rank Eli Manning like this one really interesting thing I find about pro sports, particularly, right, versus like playing with your boys. You know, you when you're playing like 4-on-4, you're like, okay, like he's nicer than you, whatever. When it comes to pro sports, so much like branding comes into the equation. I saw this list the other day, and forgive me, I can't remember what form it was. It was on Instagram, like via something else, and somebody had ranked, a serious person had ranked, like of like that era of quarterbacks, Eli over Big Ben, and I thought to myself, you must be out of your mind. You must be out of your mind. If you watch those two play, Big Ben was so much better than Eli Manning.
Didn't they both win 2 Super Bowls too?
Yes.
So like,
and Eli Manning
kind of like
Eli Manning could get a cup of coffee for Ben Ben Roethlisberger was a
100%.
dog. But the thing
Ben
is,
Roethlisberger's
Ben Roethlisberger, his name is Mud, right? Like nobody, he doesn't have a brand, and there's some validity to that. But I think it's interesting because he's a Manning, because of like the Manning cast, the commercials, the Peyton, the beating Brady, like that's its own mythos that we put him in this class with like, oh yeah, he was in there with like Favre and Manning and Brady and Big Ben. It's like, no, he wasn't. He was like not that good. He had like full bad regular seasons, like back to back multiple times.
Isn't he like dead even all time or something like that too?
Like 500.
Yeah, he's like I thought he was like exactly 500 or something, but
probably. But he beat Brady twice, and he's Peyton Manning's brother, and he's got the brand, so he's kind of funny. Yeah. So we have like this thing of like, oh, he's like one of the goats of like that generation. And it's like he was not that good. He was not holding a candle.
And you got totally agree. So Alex Smith was, he was fine. He's whatever. Jamarcus Russell, total bust.
For first overall, though,
very much so.
Yeah, game manager. Kind of like a Baker level of first overall.
Yeah. Matthew Stafford, who, I have my thoughts
Probably
on
Hall
Stafford.
Of Famer, yeah?
I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame personally, but
no,
that's just me. No, I wouldn't.
You don't think the ring solidified a Hall of Fame berth?
No, I think it makes the case better. But I mean, if you look back, bro, he has no All Pros. He has no fucking. You know what I mean? Like he didn't even win the MVP. He didn't win the MVP of the Super Bowl even. Like he, he's been a Pro Bowler one time. Like the numbers will be there. The ring will be. I'm biased. I fucking hate Matthew Stafford. So you know what I mean. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't want him to see him succeed in anything he does.
No, I hear you. But I mean,
he wasted 12 years of my life, and everybody says, "Oh, well, they never put a team around him." Yes, they did. They put multiple teams around him. He just didn't fucking succeed with them. Like, I don't know. You can't tell me that 2014 team was like.
But again, this is my caution. I mean, it's all connected. What I love about the NFL, and what I love about history, and I love the combination of those two things. They're all like, you see a tree, and we don't like, there's systems of roots under the ground that are all connected. Like all these trees are connected. And this point is connected. Matthew Stafford and Caleb Williams are connected. Why? Yeah. Because the Lions didn't put great coaching around Matthew Stafford. They were a bad front office. They were bad ownership. They did put Calvin Johnson with him. And Calvin is an all-time electric
first
talent, the wide receiver. He's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
But it's similar to how we're seeing the Fields thing play out, of being like, well, no, we signed Keenan Allen. Well, he's old, he's washed, he was force-fed in Los Angeles last year, and he's
Matthew
injury-prone.
Stafford had Roy Williams too,
right. And the DeAndre Swift thing. Look, I love Swift.
Matt Stafford had Reggie Bush.
It's the same thing. And the thing about Swift is you got to be careful getting too excited about Swift, because the Eagles ran that man into the ground last year, and he didn't miss a game. And if you know anything about DeAndre Swift, he tends to miss a few games every year with some sort of. I mean, Lions fans know he's not more injury prone than other running backs. That's kind of a myth. But what's not a myth is he does miss games almost every year, except. But he was being run like Saquon Barkley in New York last year. I mean, they were running him between the tackles. They weren't scheming him. He was running into walls last year.
Yeah.
And you're getting a used car.
Yep.
And DJ Moore is not a top 5 wide receiver.
No, he's not.
And Cole Kmet is good. He's not a top 5 tight end. So
no.
That's why I say the connection with Stafford is.
Yeah. No, I mean you had Calvin Johnson.
Calvin that was like
Calvin was a top 5 wide receiver.
We have Calvin.
When Stafford
now
came
we're getting
in.
the quarterback, and then we drafted Brandon Pettigrew later, which is you're gonna have that too, Bears fans. You have another first pick. You're having the same thing, and was Stafford a bust? Absolutely not. Was he a really good quarterback? Yep.
Yep, he was him.
We didn't win a goddamn thing. Not one.
We never won a single division or a single playoff game, and that's why it's fuck him forever. Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford was by all accounts pretty much a bust. Like couldn't stay healthy for a lot of talent. Couldn't stay healthy.
All time worst drip ever. On field drip.
Man, yeah.
Out here looking like a high school player.
No aura. Cam Newton. Cam Newton was good. He's overrated himself vastly, but he was very good. Got them to a Super Bowl, won an MVP.
He's overrated himself. Cam Newton to me is one of those guys where it's like, my brother, we watched you play.
Yeah.
Stop talking about yourself.
That's what I mean.
You're not that guy. You're in the B tier of that era. Like you weren't Rodgers, you weren't Breeze, you weren't Manning, you weren't Brady.
Yeah.
Like, you're not as good as, like, in my opinion, he's not as good as Lamar's been. No. He wasn't the first to kind of do that thing like Vic was. So it's like, you're kind of the middle child of, like, the dual threat, like, electric, explosive, like, let's be honest, black QB thing that, like, you're just not that. You had one excellent season and you had a handful of really good seasons. You didn't. I'm sorry, bro. Your defining moment is you not jumping on the ball in the Super Bowl. Like, you could have won that game, my G. Like, Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball more than 8 yards. Like, fact.
Literally.
Stop talking about yourself. Let us talk about you. Let us talk. Because I'll give you credit for your game, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Then next you have a quarterback who I think has gotten the lore around him has gotten a little out of hand, and that's Andrew Luck. Like the
interesting.
He was no doubt he was the best prospect I've ever seen. It's like okay, but like he also like retired right when the Colts started getting good. So like
we never
picks. we haven't
I hear Brett Favre threw a lot of picks. That's the thing I hear about Brett Favre.
Andrew Luck was really fucking good, but like there's people who are like, does he have a Hall of Fame case? It's like, absolutely not. He doesn't. Like, he didn't. No. He quit. Like, what are you talking about?
No,
you know what I mean?
He doesn't have a Hall of Fame case. Not even close.
Not
if
even
Matt Stafford's not in the Hall of Fame, Andrew Luck sure as hell ain't in the Hall of Fame.
No, they both aren't. The Hall of Fame is hard to get into. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can't. Yeah. Because people will say, "Oh, Stafford's got this many yards and this many touchdowns, and he won a Super Bowl." It's like, yeah, but like, where are the All Pros? Where's the MVP votes? Where's the MVP? Where's the, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they start looking at when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Like,
right. There's no Stafford year.
No,
that
not,
I look
not
at.
single
right.
one.
I mean, even with like Mahomes, right? You look at like 2018.
Is there a year that he was genuinely a top 5 quarterback?
Oh man. Maybe the year they lost to Dallas in the playoffs, but I don't. To me, he's like Romo.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe.
But if Romo's not in the Hall of Fame, then he isn't.
You could probably argue that 2021 season, he was probably top 5, but he would have been like 5.
Yeah, I don't know that I wouldn't be not better than Joe Burrow that year.
He wasn't better than Burrow. He wasn't better than Mahomes. He wasn't better than Lamar. I mean, those are 3 right there. Because Lamar won the MVP that year, didn't he?
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like,
Josh Allen was almost in the Super Bowl that year. That was the year after, I think. But yeah, I mean.
Was it? Yeah.
I guess.
It was the year after.
Yeah.
If
Brady's there, then
but you still
I don't know that he was better than Brady.
Yeah, but you still had Aaron Rodgers playing at a really high level at that point.
Aaron Rodgers was the MVP that season, yeah.
Was he? Well, okay, it wasn't Lamar. Well, Lamar was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then this past year.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there you go.
Which
I rest my case.
Lamar's won 2 MVPs now.
Yeah.
So Lamar needs to win a Super Bowl, I think, but I don't know that he does. I think if they keep winning regular season games like this, Lamar looks how he looks.
Yep.
I think he's a Hall of Famer. 2 MVPs?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You got to get the ring though.
Cam, you're not a Hall of Famer.
No, hell no.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah, you had Jameis Winston, who pretty much a bust.
Yeah, I mean, he's a backup journeyman.
Yeah, he's a role player, you know. You have Jared Goff, who I think has been very good, honestly. I think he's
underrated.
had a good career. Very underrated. I think he's hitting his prime right now. I think we're going to see what Goff's really made of in the next 2 or 3 years.
Because he's more Brady. He's more Brady.
No bias
his game
aside.
is Brady. His game is here.
I totally agree.
His game is here, and his game is with the precision passing, with the accuracy. He's a Drew Brees, Tom Brady, pick you apart, throw good footballs, win the game quarterback. He's not. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's so much sexy right now at quarterback, more than there's ever been, that I think that we've deluded ourselves into being like, oh my God, we need this. And it's like, I don't know, man. Purdy made a Super Bowl last year too. And I don't even like Purdy like that. I don't think he can hold Jared Goff's jockstrap.
No, you can't. And then you got Baker, you got Kyler, you got Burrow, Lawrence, and Young, all in the last 5-6 years. So let me without getting into too much into the weeds, we got Tim Couch, Michael Vick, David Carr, Carson Palmer, Eli Manning, Alex Smith, Jamarcus Russell, Matt Stafford, Sam Bradford, Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, Jameis Winston, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young. How many of those guys are generational?
1.
Yep. 100%.
Joe Burrow.
It's Joe Burrow. Yeah. He's the only one.
Some respect on my man.
No, he's the only one. He's the only one who really like. I mean, dude, he got his team. By the way,
have you noticed another thing too? I'm going to go on my tangent here about
his team went to the Super Bowl the next year.
Fully. The other thing is too.
They picked number 1 the year before and went to the Super Bowl the next year.
Have you noticed that if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm making phone calls to PR agencies and being like, "Yo,
we've forgotten about him fully.
Who did I piss off?" Because I've noticed, and this is why I say it's why I want to make my own content. It's why I want people to have platforms like this. It's why I'm interested in the new media in general. Because you got we get these echo chambers of and I love the Colin Cowards, I love the Joel Klatt, I love these guys, but they drink each other's bathwater and then they spit 100%. It out at us and they're like, you like that? And it's like, yeah, I mean, can you guys have a thought that's original? And I've noticed. I mean, I keep hearing it. It's like, oh, he's the best we've seen since it's Andrew Luck all over again. It's Trevor all over again. It's these number 1 pick guys that are locks and that are electric and are elite and that you don't even think. And we haven't seen one of these guys since Andrew Luck, arguably Trevor Lawrence, but that's it. And it's like, okay, I watched Joe Burrow have the most insane 2019 season at LSU. Absolutely be the number 1 pick lock, and he's been the best out of all the guys you just named. Why are we just throwing? What is this? I don't understand it. And I know it's not some kind of bias against. Maybe it's a small market bias. I mean, Lion fans kind of know about that, but I think it
could be. Yeah, I think it does have a bit to do with that.
I think it's lazy thinking.
It is
I think
lazy
it's people
thinking.
Repeating it, and it's like that NPC meme where it's Shannon Sharp gets on a thing and gives a take, or Stephen A. and everyone's just repeats it, the gray faces with the nose and the 2 eyes.
Yeah,
and it's sort of that's how I feel about this, where it's Caleb's generational, best since Andrew Luck, and it's just I'm watching. I mean, I know Joe Burrow had a down year with the injury last year, but he's been in a Super Bowl. He's been a top 3 quarterback every year except for his rookie year. He didn't play that whole year because he broke his leg.
Yeah,
get out of here.
And I think
generation.
I think you nailed it as far as small market goes, because I saw something the other day that said, would you take Trent Williams or Penei Sewell to be your left or your starting tackle moving forward? And
from now on.
From now on. And there was like
Penei.
people in there who were like, "Oh, Trent Richardson or Trent Williams," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, give me the guy who's literally just as good as him, but 23." You
He's
know what
not
I
a
mean?
Niner.
Like that's the thing. Like people
That's
were
why
like,
we're
"Dude, Penei
talking
should
about Brandon Ayuk as a top tier talent. When Brandon Ayuk
no,
is
it's true.
just, he's nice, but he's not, he's not him.
Yeah, no,
Is Brandon
probably.
Ayuk better than Jalen Waddle? Even I'm not sure. I mean, maybe
No,
it's
I don't
possible.
think so.
I don't know that he's
It's
better than even
close.
like a T Higgins. It's like
They're in the same tier, in my opinion.
I don't think he's better than Devonta Smith. So there's like one guy right there that you can just put off your list. Like, I'm sorry, he's not. You know, you guys watch these games. We watch these games. Don't let people lie to you. That's the long story short.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
Bears fans, we don't like you, but we also acknowledge that like this guy might, he might really be the one, and like we'll have to eat that for a long time. But
Yeah.
even if he's nice like that, you're not winning the division next year. Your coach is a fraud. The free agent additions are
Vastly
just
overrated.
okay. Totally overrated. Stop letting the talking heads sell you guys a dream that you can't have an idea and think,
Yeah.
So we'll move on. It was a very long-winded number one
Yeah, right.
overall rant.
We're like, not much to say. Go on for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's true, though. You know what I mean? Like, that history tells us he will not be great. History tells us with the number one picks that it's probably not going to end up being the best quarterback in the NFL.
But he might be.
But
he might be.
But he might be. He absolutely could be. He would be probably the one outlier. You know what I mean? Like,
he's a bit of a loaded gun. With that,
I totally
think he's
agree.
a bit of a head case. I'm sorry, I do, and I don't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't care about that in my running back or my wide receiver or my safety. I don't care. My franchise quarterback that I'm banking
everything on.
This doesn't work out. Ari Gold from Entourage with the "You're fired" meme is going to be the entire Chicago, everybody who works there, down to the equipment manager, the OC, the head coach, the DC.
Yeah.
When the DC was like in jail last year, what was that whole thing that got swept under the rug?
Very, very weird.
The new DC, not the other guy who was
very odd.
weird.
It's a messy organization.
Yeah, like the owner might get fired. I don't know by who, but
Yeah.
Roger Goodell might just be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's everybody's job is at stake. I think the Bears franchise is at stake with this in a big way.
Yeah.
You better hope that this guy, you better hope it's Reggie Jackson with the Yankees and the head case situation just works out. Because, I don't know. That man's got some things going on upstairs. It's just obvious.
Yeah.
No disrespect. He's a dog, though.
No, that's facts, though.
So number 2, my dog of this draft, my personal guy.
JD5.
Jaden Daniels, baby.
Yeah.
Commander.
Yeah.
Love the fit. I think the fact that let's talk about it organizationally. So you brought in Cliff Kingsbury. I love that hire. You brought in Dan Quinn to be your CEO head coach.
Yep.
I feel fine about it. I think he's a good coach. He's respected. He did great things in Dallas with that defense.
He also did great things. He did great things with Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Sure
like
did.
he lost 2 coordinators the next year after that Super Bowl run, and they just the thing
Eagles,
collapsed.
how that
'Cause,
looks.
I mean it happens, but I think Dan Quinn's a good hire. I love JD5 with Cliff.
So
I hate the idea of him with anybody else. Maybe, and I Kevin O'Connell would be cool, but also it's fuck the Vikings, so like I don't want to see that. You know what I mean?
The free agent signings are pretty mid, but I don't think that matters because I think
it doesn't. They just need
Terry
to
McLaurin is really underrated. I think Jahan Dotson still has a chance to be a really good 2.
Yeah.
I think Brian Robinson Jr. is Najee without a Steelers uniform, where it's sort of like he's actually like does that thing. He does that David Montgomery thing of like picking up yards. You can run him between the tackles.
Yep.
Still got shot in the leg and came back and was like nice.
Fully.
Pieces there, and aside from that, I think they have an interesting front office that's taking chances. They're like basketball guys. They're like warrior guys.
Yeah, so odd. Bob
We don't
Myers?
know.
What?
We don't know, but it's interesting, and you're the Commanders, like you're a joke. So like this idea that it's like the Commanders fans being like, "Oh, I don't know." It's like, really, you don't know?
That defense will be brutal, but it's okay. They're not going to be good for a few years. You know what I mean? Like
They will be good because they have the right guy to build that defense. They have the right
100%.
guy to build the defense.
Yeah, no,
so
that's
it will
facts.
be. And think about it like this too, from an organizational standpoint. The Giants are over. They paid Daniel Jones money that they can't cash. He can't repay them. Like, we're not even sure Daniel Jones is going to be healthy this year. He tore his ACL. I mean, it's an absolute train wreck with their quarterback situation. Even if they draft a guy, they still got to pay Daniel Jones for like years. Like, it's bad. I mean, it's
terrible contract.
Bad. And then
you've
got the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Best team in the division, we feel like right now. They're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts now. Now Jalen Hurts is going to start getting money. They paid Devonta Smith. He's a 2.
Didn't they pay Jalen? I thought they paid Jalen like 2 years ago.
They might have. You might be right.
Yeah, they did.
You might be right.
They did. Yeah, Jalen
but
got
he's going to need an extension in the next couple of years. I mean, he's going to be making money. Like, Jalen is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's their situation. Jalen's not on a rookie deal and won't be ever again, and the money's only going to go up for Jalen. That's my point. Unless 100%. He like dies.
100%.
Dak Prescott, the Cowboys have now paid Dak twice a lot of money. They're the only team in the NFL over the last 3 seasons to win 12 games. The Bills haven't won 12 games.
Yeah.
The Chiefs haven't won, and I'm talking about 21, 22, 23, 12 wins.
Yep.
The only franchise in the entire league to do that. They have one playoff win to show for it. One. No, 0 runs, 0 NFC championship game, nothing but poop-stained underwear. Now, Dak is due for more money next season. So now you got to pay Dak again. You got to pay CeeDee Lamb now because that rookie deal's over. So it's time to give CeeDee his money because he was the number 1 wide receiver in football last year. Show me. If I'm CeeDee Lamb, back up the Brinks truck.
Fully.
Micah Parsons. The reason why they're tainting Micah Parsons' reputation with these fake articles is because they don't want to pay him max money. Too bad. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
So now you're in a situation drafting JD5. If this guy hits, you have the best salary situation at quarterback by a country mile for like 4 years. You don't have to pay Jaden Daniels for like years. No, and Jalen Hurts is going to be getting a bag. And Jalen Hurts is great. Dak, we don't really feel like is great. He's good. He's not great. He's going to be making great money. Yeah. And then you have Daniel Jones making really good money who's fully bad. So it's like for me, it's a no-brainer. And that's just talking about it from an organizational perspective. We haven't even gotten into the player himself. But if I'm Washington, if you hit on this pick at quarterback, you know, and I don't think anybody besides Washington fans really care to see Washington make a run because it's the Commanders.
Yeah. No.
But you have a chance to do that. I mean, you have a chance to beat Houston.
100% you do.
You know, don't be Jacksonville. Don't miss the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. They could be a worst to first team.
Yeah. I don't think they'll be that this year. Because I think the Eagles are ready to make a run again. I think Dallas will probably still somehow win 10 or 11 games and then poop out in the playoffs. And I think the Giants are going to be the worst team in the division. But you have a chance to
might be the
build
worst team
something.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
Depending on what happens at 6.
I don't think it's depending on.
No, probably not.
I think it's a dumpster fire. So we like Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, what do you think the Patriots do? Because I think this is a prime trade out situation. I think if you're the Patriots, you take whatever Minnesota's offering. I think Minnesota jumps up, grabs Drake May, who is falling down draft boards like pretty rapidly. I think people are starting to see that his decision making is really piss poor, and they understand that he's a huge project. Now, granted, like, Kevin O'Connell's probably the guy for that project.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, and then you step in, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson, you have Christian Darrisaw as your left tackle, and you got Aaron Jones as your running back. Like, that's a great situation.
I think Drake May would be the worst option for Minnesota out of all the potential quarterbacks.
Interesting.
I think Bo Nix could Well, let's talk about the Patriots
Well,
first.
yeah. I was just gonna say let's not get in the weeds of that just yet. So I think it's strictly from a Patriots perspective, you take that pick, you get 13, or I'm sorry, you get 11, you get 23, and you probably get next year's first round pick too.
I'm going to offer a counter.
Well, okay, well, yeah. Hold on, let me live this fantasy out.
Yeah.
You get. I think you have Jacoby Brissett. I think at 11 you can get a really, really, really high level player, whether that be on like the edge or like a left tackle. And then I think the reverse can happen at 23. If I take the edge, if Dallas Turner falls to me at 11, I take him, and then at 13 or at 23, maybe there's like a Jackson Powers Johnson where I got a guy who's going to be like a staple on my offensive line. And I can just kind of like mob with Jacoby Brissett for a year because we're just going to be like buns no matter what. Sure. I would rather get the capital, get two like seemingly really high level players, and then also because I'm going to suck next year too. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have probably a top 5 pick next year, and then I'll have Minnesota's 1 next year as well. That's the basis of like really building a squad again. But go ahead.
I think so. I want to preface this by saying everything you said is correct.
Yeah,
you're a smart guy, and when I hear you break shit down like that, it's like this guy's right. Like everything that you just said is like I'm hearing it. I'm like, yep, that's right. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. I'm going to offer a counterpoint.
Sure.
The New England Patriots are a football team, yes, but what are they above that?
A brand,
a franchise.
Within, like a Lakers, a Celtics. Yeah,
not even just that. They're just a pro sports franchise. Period. Doesn't matter what level you're on. It does matter a little more for them because they have the prestige now of being the franchise of the last 2 decades.
Yeah.
So that's number one. They're in. They're a subsidy of not a subsidy, but they're a subgroup essentially of one of the most powerful and recognized corporations in the United States now, and now globally at this point. I mean, it's now becoming overseas.
What's that? Gillette?
No, the NFL, the Shield.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the league itself.
I'm like,
no, I'm going somewhere with this.
Gillette,
give me a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, Gillette matters.
Yeah.
Bob Kraft is one of the most respected, well-liked, prestigious owners in pro sports.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
We believe that Robert Kraft is the one dropping the leaks about Bill Belichick being a piece of garbage, yes?
100%.
Okay. We believe that if you watch Dynasty, Robert Kraft gave a lot of information to those writers and those filmmakers to paint Bill Belichick in a certain light
Yes.
Right. The Patriots are in a really bad situation right now.
Terrible situation. Terrible. Terrible.
Showed their ass by allowing Tom Brady to walk out the door and not firing Bill Belichick in 2019. They showed their ass by allowing this drama, and that's why I love the show so much, because it really goes into like how many years. This goes back to 2015, 16, 17, 18. This was going on for years. Those two were, and Bill, they gave Bill the keys to the candy store and let him run amok, and he, respectfully, I think he's the all-time greatest coach. I think when you have that many rings, that much success, you have to give it up to him.
Yeah,
he's horrible at people management. He doesn't understand how to work with people. He's not a good person by all accounts, and he's very bad at personnel. Those 3 things combined created a culture that now you can't follow up on, and you shouldn't want to follow up on. I don't know in this draft at this position that you can look at your fan base and go, we traded out.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is right. Like, I completely agree with you. I think Drake May there is a bad pick. I don't think he's going to be successful there.
Yeah.
I almost just give you the franchise business situational perspective of going, they might have to draft a quarterback at 3 and just because those Boston fans don't fuck around. And
I think if that's
like,
the case,
can we sell you this? Because next year's quarterback class isn't great like this. It's not.
No,
and
it's
you don't
not.
know. Maybe you
But
fuck around and win 7 games, and your defense
Yeah.
is good, and you're not picking there
Yeah.
again. Now what? You're gonna go pay Dak? Like you gonna go pay Tua? Like you're gonna try to go get one of these guys, these overpriced. You're gonna go, get see if Derek Carr has 2 more years left. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's
I
a
do,
situation where, from a football perspective, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But from a business organizational perspective, given the context of what's gone on in the last couple of years, going from we're the greatest of all time, we are the Kraft is the owner, Bill's the GOAT coach, Tom's the GOAT quarterback. We the rest of you guys can honestly go away. It's Patriots versus everybody. We're the greatest ever. It's not close. To now being a joke, you just fired Bill Belichick. He's gone.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I feel like you almost have to do that Buffalo Bills move of being like, we're going to take it like the New York Jets, Sam Darnold. I don't think it works. I don't think it's a good pick. I think what you just laid out is better, and they are a smart organization, so they might do what you just said, and they'd be a lot smarter doing it.
Well, what
I
about
fear
this
that
then?
it's desperation
What
now.
about this then?
What do you think about that opinion, though, in general? Like, do you feel like that's not being considered enough within the discussion? Like, the business organizational perspective is not being discussed enough within the talking heads? Because this stuff matters when we draft. It matters a lot.
No, because I feel like the consensus is pretty much that they're gonna take like Drake May, right? It's like that's what I keep seeing is like, yeah, Patriots are gonna take. They're either going to take J.J. McCarthy or Drake May. J.J. McCarthy or Drake May.
Smart people like you talk about trading out, and I think it's
because that's what I think they. So okay, let me play devil's advocate right now. So what if you trade back now? Say rather than trading back with like the Vikings who are sitting at like 11, right? What if you trade back with like, I don't know, the Giants, right? And you end up with Neighbors, and then you trade back up and get a Michael Penix or like a Bo Nix if they start to fall, like is that or for that matter, like let's just say you stay at 3 and you don't trade at all. What if you take Marvin Harrison at 3 and then you have that I feel like can buy you time with your franchise.
No, I don't disagree with you.
Hey,
I think the first point you made is the right move from a football perspective.
I do too, but I'm just trying to like
painting a picture of like
different
what's
ideas.
going on. Yeah,
because the way I look at it, right, is like this, right? If we know that Caleb is the best quarterback in this class, like that's what we think at least coming in, and we pretty consensus think that Jaden Daniels is probably the second best. I think JJ and Drake May and Bo Nix are all kind of like. They have question marks. I think Michael Penix is probably the most polished, but he's also like the oldest and has like a lot of injury history. Yeah. So what do I look like as a GM reaching for the third best player at that position when I know I can get Marvin Harrison, who might just be the best player in the draft period? Right. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I look at it.
I do know what you mean. I don't disagree with you.
I have a really solid bridge vet as my quarterback. Like Jacoby Brissett does not suck. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like I have a decent O-line. I have a good leader as my quarterback who can absolutely be a bridge for a year. They're the Patriots, so they're always going to have a good defense. And what I really fucking lack
is good, and he'll be healthy this year.
Yeah. Also, what I really lack is weapons.
Totally. Yeah, so I mean, I agree with you.
Marvin going there isn't crazy, especially if you get lucky and like a Penix or a Nix drops to the second round. I mean, you have to wait 3 picks, and like obviously, the first 2 guys are not the Bears and the Panthers in the second round. The Panthers and the Commanders are not taking quarterbacks with their second round picks. So you could have a situation where Michael Penix like falls right into your lap, and you're like, okay, fuck, like. Well, so we walked away with the draft with Michael Penix and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like,
right? Yeah,
that's also kind of a dub to me. I would build through the trenches. That's what I like to see. I think the most successful teams build through the trenches. Yeah. But that being said, like devil's advocate, like if they fucked around and took Marv, I would not be shocked. I would just laugh at Arizona forever, though. You know what I mean?
I think. Well, yeah, that would be. I think what you're saying is great. and I think that they need to. I think they should do what the first thing you said from a football perspective.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think that we view because of the brand and because of the success that we have never seen, and I don't think we will see. Maybe the Chiefs pull it off.
Yeah.
Not there yet. I don't think that we think of the New England Patriots as a desperate franchise, but they are desperate, and they are in a bad. I mean, let's think about it like this: who was their big free agent departure this year? Would you say not football wise, but optically?
Bill.
Football, like from a player perspective, like what player do you think they lost? Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Yeah. I don't know why they got rid of Mac Jones though. They got rid of Mac Jones because Bill Belichick broke Mac Jones. Like, no, I understand that, but why would you not? I don't know. I feel like you keep the kid around.
My point is they just took the guy who was supposed to replace Tom Brady in the first round a couple of years ago, and it didn't work. They just fired their coach. They have no talent on that roster.
None.
So it's just like, will they do the sort of smart football thing and kind of do what Brad Holmes did of being like, we're going to build through the trenches, we're going to get this O-line right, we're going to maybe, but when you're this bad and you're that organization with that fan base and those expectations and that pedigree and you're picking third and you go, okay guys, hold on, we traded back. But the good news is we got 2 picks. We got the 11 and the 20. And we got, don't worry, we got a guard and a defensive tackle. We're building this thing back. And it's just like, what the fuck? Who's our quarterback? Who's our receiver one?
It doesn't matter. You have to. But I mean, look at.
You're right, but will they do that? And can they do that? And is Robert Kraft going to be able to restrain himself from going, I have to fix this. Like, I have to provide something here. I cannot take a guard. I can't do it. Like, you know what I mean? It's
I mean, if you build the team right, you know, I mean, there is quarterbacks looking for new teams every year. You know what I mean? Like, it might be a situation like you said. Like, are you going to go pay Dak? Like, fucking maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they might have to. You know, like that might just be what it is. And like, that's risky, but it's not like. You know, I mean, like, look at like Kurt Warner, right? Like, it can happen. It can happen where you build a team and then you like bring a guy in at the end. I mean, I look at Jared Goff right now. You know what I mean? Right. Like they were just like, yo, be patient for a minute. You know? And like he was patient and like now the team's fucking cold. And like that it worked out.
I'm with you, but we had loser owners and a loser fan base and a loser organization. And I think that we were willing to kind of go, okay, let's see. And
let's try it different this time. Yeah.
I'm a little, the only reason why I know we're getting off on a tangent, but the only reason why I'm thinking about this is because it's just not a part of the equation that I'm seeing discussed when it comes to drafting. We're taking all of these situations in vacuums and going, well, they should take Drake May. And then other guys, you know, like yourself, who I think have the better take, are going, no, they need to trade out and like build this roster a little bit and get picks. And it's like, there's also the whole dynasty, like business, franchise, ego, like part of this that like, dude, I think there's a real chance that they could muck it up and the owner could veto and be like, I'm taking Drake May. I don't give a shit. He might be good. I don't know. But, you know, New York, I think New York's a great example. I think they got the head coach right. People are still out on it. The Jets.
No, they do. They have the head coach
Jets,
right.
And I think they draft, like we just talked about, they got Sauce and Garrett in that draft. They've drafted really well, but they missed on one pick, didn't they?
Oh, man.
And they've not been able to recover from that pick.
You cannot miss on. And that's kind of that's my point, right? Like does Joe Alt not feel like a fucking patriot? You know what I mean? Like,
he'd be a great patriot.
You know what I mean? It would feel like, and even then, maybe you trade with the Giants and you just have them come up to 3, and then you go back to 6 and you get to take Joe Alt because like he's probably not going to be gone before Tennessee.
I have a question, hugely relevant, I think, that I also am not really seeing like asked. Who's running the show draft wise in New England this year? Now that Bill's gone,
they have a de facto GM currently.
Okay, are we sure that he's the one who is building this roster and making the picks? Or
we have no idea.
What say does Bob Kraft have? What about Kraft's son? Do we know? Do we know anything about like?
Kraft said the last thing I read about the Patriots, which was earlier today. Funny enough, that's the only reason I know they have a de facto GM because it's literally what it said. It's
I
a
do
de
too,
facto
but I don't know his
GM.
name.
Yeah, it's a de facto GM. Ian Atwell is. It's
Yeah.
like okay.
Like-
Basically, Bob Kraft was like, I'm gonna let them make whatever pick they want to make, but it should probably be a quarterback. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things.
Right.
It was like, I trust my team to pick whatever is right for this team, but we do have a bad situation at quarterback.
But I got
And it's
tickets
like,
to sell.
Yeah, 100%.
But I can't show my face in downtown Boston if this happens again next year. And I took a guard at 3. Not saying that's what I do, but you know what I mean.
JJ feels like a Patriot, though. I could see JJ McCarthy as a Patriot.
Bad pick, I think.
Oh, it'd be terrible, but I could see him as a Patriot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think JJ to me is like makes more sense than Drake May does. Not that I don't like May. 100%. I just like I don't, But let's just say hypothetically they trade out with who? Minnesota, and Minnesota takes. We think a quarterback.
Drake
We think
May. They would take Drake May.
JJ.
I think.
Drake May.
They'd take Drake May. Yeah.
That's interesting. I think Drake May is the worst fit for that team out of all the
How
quarterbacks. Yeah, because to me, Kevin O'Connell's system is like Sean McVay's system, where the system comes first, not the quarterback's talent.
Yeah,
and
real.
the talent around the team is win now. When I look at Penix Jr., I think Minnesota should fuck off this whole idea of trading up and just wait and take Penix. When I look at the roster they have, I think Bo Nix could run the offense the most efficiently, the way that, almost like Kirk ran it a little bit, right? And that's not to disrespect Kirk and be like, oh, this guy who's like a B-tier prospect is like Kirk, but I could see a game management ready now player coming in and being like, all right, so I'm not that good, but I'm gonna come in and win some games, and I got JJ here, I got Addison here, Hawk is coming back from the injury, I'm good. I got Aaron Jones for one more year probably. I think Penix is the best arm talent and the most throwing the football ready. He also did run a 4.3 at his pro day. He's healthy. He's not that knee's a long that. It's not saying it's nothing, but it's not.
Yeah, it was an Indiana injury. He was 2 healthy seasons at Washington. Yeah,
the knees are fine. He can run.
Yeah.
And so you have that situation, right? You have those two guys who are the oldest, win now, ready. To me, JJ is the most perfect version of a quarterback that I think Kevin O'Connell would want to mold into a guy.
Yes, I agree.
When I look at Drake May, it's he holds onto the ball.
Yep.
His upside is there, but it's not what I see for a Kevin O. It's more of what I would see with the Steelers, right? It's almost it's just not. He doesn't have I don't know how to explain it. It's more of a Josh Allen comp than it is when I think of Kevin O'Connell, I think efficient. I think West Coast. I think run the offense.
Yeah,
I think don't make mistakes. I mean, the whole thing with Kirk, we think of Kirk Cousins as the game manager. The whole thing when Kevin O'Connell got to Minnesota was stop throwing so many picks. I don't even throw that many picks.
I think Drake May, if Drake May is to reach his 100% ceiling, is probably a Josh Allen type, but I think the reality is he's a lot more Blake Bortles than he is Josh Allen.
That's not Kevin O'Connell's type of player.
No, hell no. And it's not anybody's type of player, frankly. You know what I mean? Blake Bortles was fucking mid. He was not really good.
He was a big bodied, decent arm.
Yeah.
Defense first team. They weren't really a timing offense. Leonard Fournette was their best. They were a run kind of. They were kind of like another team. It's whatever. Blake's your quarterback. You're fine. They made an AFC Championship. Almost won that game too. But you're not beating.
Probably should have.
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
not beating the Patriots at home. But I'm wondering. So so your answer is the Vikings trade to 3 and take May, right?
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Yeah. I just picked it apart quite a bit for me to just agree to it. But
you did.
But I think it's possible, and I think he probably is the third.
I mean,
prospect,
it would not I'm not dying on the Drake May hill. It could absolutely be JJ. It 100% could be JJ, and it would not shock me at all. Actually, let's go with JJ.
Yeah.
Let's go with JJ there because Drake May feels a lot more Brian Dable than he does Kevin O'Connell. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I could see him in New York way more than I could see him.
Yeah, let's go with JJ at 3. 4, that feels. I mean, come on.
It's Marv.
Let's not overthink this. Like Maserati Marv.
Ooh, that nickname.
Are we doing?
It's so bad. It's like who had like I'm trying to think who was the NBA, right? You had like Paul Pierce, who was like the truth.
The truth.
Then you had the answer was AI. You had like all those cool nicknames. Who was the one? It was like the sheriff, or it was like was it Duncan? It was one of those guys who had like a shit name, and you always felt bad for him. It was like the I don't remember what it was.
I think you're right.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like one of those guys who had like
the sheriff was Peyton Manning.
That's right. That nickname sucks. The sheriff.
The sheriff. The sheriff's in town.
Yeah. Boo.
Can't beat Brady.
Get out of here, narc.
You mean Tom Brady's? You mean Tom Brady's bitch?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's a bummer, man. He was just as good as Brady too. I just couldn't quite.
Oh, he was probably better, but it was just sorry.
There can only be one.
You know what I mean? I got 7 of these bitches. Yeah, you know what I mean? I got 7 reasons that you're not better than me.
Yeah, and two is not enough for him to like use the talent thing as a
not when he was
Mahomes plays like this.
Partially dead for one of them too. Like, brother, you were
bench.
Cooked.
But he made the Osweiler family a lot of money that year.
Yes, he did.
And Houston gave that man the bag, and it was just like, dude, this guy's a backup. Like, what are you doing?
They said, we got 80 million reasons you should come to Houston. He said, shit, I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I would have done it for 50, but
say less. Motherfuck, what?
The hell? You guys are giving me $80 million? I'm Brock Osweiler. Is this a joke?
Yeah. I'm stinky.
So fire.
Yeah, it would be the greatest thing ever.
Shout out Brock Osweiler. He seemed like a good dude too. He was always cool.
Fuck,
he
did.
He could throw a great football. ASU guy. It was always. I always.
He wasn't really even that bad either. It was just like the Houston situation was not good.
No, but he was never going to be good enough.
No. He was a backup, but he was the backup in the same way that like Gardner Minshew's a backup, right? It's like you can be a starter for a year.
Well, that's what he was in Denver, and they were better with him that season, arguably. Yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah. What were you looking up? You were looking up something. We were talking about. Oh yeah, Marv. What do you think about? So I think the question is not who's the pick. What do you think about Marvin Harrison? Again, I don't want to bore. I mean, no one's watching this, but like, I don't want to bore myself, honestly, with like this bullshit of like. Oh, actually, he had a catch radius. It's like I don't give a shit about like I watched. He's a dog. He's great. Like, do you think? My question for you is from a fan perspective, from a watching perspective. Fuck it, like even a fantasy football perspective.
Sure.
Do you think that Marv is going to be a star next year, rookie year star, if he goes to Arizona? Will he be a star? Not good. Not like whatever. Like for reference, like will he be? So
okay, I have a deep cut for you real fast. I'm going to break this down because I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days. Who does Marvin Harrison Jr. remind me of? And the answer I keep coming to is Ty Crane from Coach Carter. He reminds me of Ty Crane from Coach Carter. As far as like his shit don't stink. Like he doesn't give two fucks about anybody else.
Was that a loosely inspired LeBron?
It was, yes. Actually, I think technically it was a loosely inspired Tyson Chandler.
Oh, Tyson Chandler.
It was Tyson Chandler who I believe he was loosely inspired on, given the like time and era and whatnot. But
interesting, great movie.
The thing is like Marv like he didn't do media, he didn't do pro day, he didn't do the combine, and it's kind of like the whole energy around it is like, you're gonna take me top 5, so like why would I do any of that bullshit? Which is like, to me, I'm like, I don't love that, But that also means like you also have to know to some degree, like if you don't do any of that shit, you really have to deliver next year. And I feel like he has no doubt in his mind that he's going to deliver.
So you feel
You know
like
what I mean?
similar to how I feel about the Caleb thing, which is like you're putting yourself now in a situation where you like have to be a star player, or else it's going to
Yeah, but I think
like,
I think
Malik
I
Neighbors is better than you next
truly
year. It's going to look bad for you.
I don't think he will be though. I think Marvin, like especially if he goes to Arizona, you're playing indoors, you're playing with Kyler, who's got a fucking rocket arm. I think he'll be just fine. You know what I mean? Like I think I like.
Well, they say he's
like
the best out of the what I call them, the Ohio State losers, because they lost 3 straight to my Wolverines.
Fucking
the
bums.
CJ Stroud. I think there was like a CJ.
Yeah,
was it CJ
CJ
Stroud? I
Stroud,
can't remember.
CJ Stroud,
Chris
Garrett
Olave
Wilson,
was there, I think.
Chris Olave, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. Well, they say out of those irrelevant guys who never beat Michigan, that Marv was
He's
the
the best
best
one
of those guys.
Yes.
And all jokes aside, I'm a Michigan homer. It is what it is. But I love those players. I think all 3 of those guys are really great talents at wide receiver.
Yeah.
And when you think about it in that perspective, you go, man, Garrett Wilson had a good rookie season with bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
Chris Olave had a good rookie season with bad quarterback play.
Yep.
JSN didn't really get on the field that much, but he was definitely good when he got looks with bad quarterback play again last year.
Yeah.
You guys can sell me Geno Smith all you want. I used to live I lived in
it.
New York for years. I watched the Jets with Geno Smith for years. I lived there during that time.
It was a fun year 2 years ago. It was.
And that team was good, not great. And the only reason that they looked so good is because they got rid of Russell Wilson and he was that bad. Let's be honest. That was a game of contrast.
Yeah.
I think that if he is even as good as those guys, damn.
Yeah, I think
that's a star.
I think if I had $20, I would put it on Marvin Harrison to be the offensive rookie of the year, because I don't see any of these quarterbacks having
be able to bet on that soon, right? Like on
100%. We're going to live. We're gonna like fully do that live.
Okay,
I want to bring C on for that episode and like just do like a whole like gambling episode.
Yeah, I'd love
where
that.
you guys just Venmo me money and we just like put money on, like collectively just put. Yeah. We'll pick the division winners. We'll pick like the offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and we'll offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and then MVP. And we'll just see if any of them hits. Like we'll probably lose money completely, but like it'll be fun.
Of course, we always do. House always wins. Gambling is a bottomless pit.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's fun though.
So yeah, I think Marv is gonna be just like that guy. I do. I don't want to like. It's just the way, like he's just so built for the league. He's like it really matters like who his dad is. It seems like they have a very close relationship, and like he like, I mean Marvin Harrison's one of the best to ever do it. So it's not like you have like you're walking into the unknown. It's like something you've been around your whole life, right? It's like
the reason why Marv was so good is relevant to me too in a weird way, where it's like Marv was so good because of his skill and fundamentals, not because of his size or his speed or he wasn't Randy Moss, where it was like we've never seen 100%. A guy this nice, or like Calvin, where it was like he's 6'7", he can run a 4.3. Like what the fuck?
But Marvin's
hands are 2 hands.
Marvin's got the size and speed. That's the craziest part.
He does. He does. But
he's got the size and the speed, and then
his dad was. It's a good coach to have because his dad was
100%.
very fundamental skill. It wasn't. It was of course with wide receiver. It's always talent, but like he wasn't a pure talent player, right? He was much more in that ballpark of like a Torrey Holt, where it was like, he's winning on the fact that he's a high IQ, high work ethic, great route runner. Like he knows how to play the position as well as anybody who's ever done it.
Yeah. So his dad was 6 feet tall, where he's 6'4".
Yeah, lucky guy. Got lucky.
Yeah.
I agree with you. We'll skip this for now because I think we both feel. So you feel like next year he could be a star? Like if you would take him in like a fantasy draft, like third as your third pick or second pick?
100%. Yeah, I would take him top 3 rounds. I think. I mean, just depending on where he lands. Obviously, if he like ends up in like New York somehow, it's like I'm probably not touching him because like who's throwing you the ball. But I think like Kyler and him, like I love that. Yeah. That feels like a very safe pick fantasy wise, but it also feels like. He just feels like a guy who's just going to be a star because it's like it's like undoubtable almost. You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't seem to have like he's like taking away any noise that's around him. I actually think it's kind of like brilliant. You know, it's kind of like, I'm not about to like do pro day. I'm not about to do the combine because y'all not finna doubt me. Like my work speaks for itself. It's like
I'll
watch
see
me
you
at Ohio
guys
State.
in September.
Fully. It's just like, let's get to it, guys.
Going top 5, no discussion.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be
100%.
mentioned in that group. Like going into next season, not this year, but like the year after his rookie year, you're going to be discussing me in there with Jamar and CD and those guys, and you're going to like it.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, I'm that guy. Yeah. I know, and I think it's dope to have a new. It's been a while since we've had, I think, a receiver like that. We've had so much good receiver talent, but we haven't had like a guy in a long time where we're like, is he going to be like the next like guy?
He feels a
Marvin
lot more.
One, but even then,
so there's been a lot of like, I feel like there's been a lot of like children of Odell Beckham that have come into the league lately. You know, like CeeDee Lamb, I think is one of them. I think Garrett Wilson's one. Like kind of these smaller twitchier receivers who are a bit like diva-ish. Yeah, fully your guys. Yeah, your color fully. And I think Marv. I think Marv is a lot more like Calvin Johnson than he is, like Garrett Wilson or Jamar Chase, if you will. Like he just seems like he's just like kind of all about football. Doesn't really care about anything else.
Yeah, I think Odell was incredibly influential.
He was super influential. That's what I say. Like sons of Odell, like disciples of Odell. Like I don't even know. Does Marvin Harrison Jr. have a Instagram? Okay, he does. And he hasn't posted on it since January 29th. You know what I mean? Like and every post is just football related. It's not fit pics. It's not like. It's not like, yo, I'm chilling I'm chilling right now.
So he's not really like a me type of receiver.
No, not at all. He's
but maybe that's why I'm not like as he's anti me. Don't say he's anti me. If he's nice,
no,
he's not.
But you know what I mean though. He's like he's not really like he doesn't seem to care. I mean, it looks like he's got one.
AD Mitchell's my guy.
100% AD Mitchell's your guy.
Yeah.
Did you read the story about his blood sugar thing?
No.
So a coach came out. I meant to send this to you the other day. I thought I did. There was like a coach who came out and was like, the thing you have to worry about with AD is his fucking blood sugar because he turns into a fucking bitch when he's got low blood sugar. Like he basically said that he was
candy
like,
and call it a day. Get that man back.
He was like they're gonna have to, whoever drafts him is gonna have to have a nutritionist to like figure out his plan because when he has a low blood sugar, he's very irritated. He's very like snippy.
Jonah Hill in
yes, fully.
He's like, I kind of need the Milky Way because if my blood sugar gets too low, I'm gonna be a nightmare to be around.
100%.
Yeah,
that's literally
on brand though. That's like doesn't that fit?
Oh, so funny. I was cracking up reading that story.
I love that.
But yeah, no, I think Marv is going to be a home run. I think we've known this for 3 years, and we've just been kind of waiting for him to get to the NFL, and now he's here, and it's seemingly looking like he's going to fall into a great situation for a wide receiver. You know, like I love him and Kyler together. You know, hey, listen, he could fall to an even better situation one pick behind him, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like if you like him and Kyler sound great, but him and Justin Herbert sound. Boy, the problem I have with her, the problem I have with
it's gonna be tough with him sitting behind Quentin if he goes to LA. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, no, it'll be tough, but it'll be tough.
I mean, Justin Herbert is not a great quarterback, but having a guy like Quentin Johnston really elevates you into being.
What
you know what I'm saying?
It's like. No, I do.
It's like getting a mark. It's like the rich get richer is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if they draft him in that receiving room, you got Quentin Johnson on
two
on one
back-to-back home run round picks, right?
It becomes like Bernie Sanders, right? It's like Bernie just like starts saying, "We can't have millionaires and trillionaires holding all the wide receivers. There's no talent left for the rest of us. He's got Quentin Johnson on one side. Like get Marvin Harrison.
You're fucking stupid. Quentin
Johnson. You're the 1% of the 1%.
Quentin Johnson is stinky poo poo.
I was watching that Green Bay game live when he dropped that pass, and I literally
he's terrible.
Actually, my brother and I go, I think it's over for this guy, and he's like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "No, you don't understand.
Stinky.
The game is on the line. He beats his man. He gets open. The coverage is horrible. There's no safety help. Herbert throws a dime, and and it's right here, and he just drops it, watches it fall to the ground, and just runs back to the huddle, just like you know what I mean? Like, damn it, I dropped that once. Like, dude,
he's doing this.
That's
on me. That's on me. Yeah, you stink.
dude, it is. It's on you fully.
You know it, but you know it's funny.
Yeah. They're gonna have to do something at receiver, man. Let's get to them.
Jokes aside, the worst thing for Marvin Harrison would be going to the Chargers because he's gonna have to just run completely useless routes while Jim Harbaugh runs the ball fucking 42 times in a row and drives, and he's gonna draft Blake Corum. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. Like, it's just gonna happen.
That running back room they're building right now is so gross.
Oh, J.K.
Like
Dobbins.
Washed up Ravens. They signed J.K. Dobbins, and their running back one's Gus Edwards right now. It's like, ew.
Of course. What do you mean? They're Ravens. Where else were they gonna go? Those boys swap players like this.
I'm telling you, it's its own coaching tree.
Yeah, it's its own coaching tree.
It's just those two guys. It's just them trading players and coaches within their coaching. It's so interesting watching. Because there was like rumors, right? Like kind of like joke rumors being like, what if he just grabs like J.K. Dobbins off the IR and like makes him a Charger? And then like today I open my phone and it's like J.K. Dobbins is a Charger. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens signed Derrick Henry. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I trust Jim, but I think it's going to be a little bit weird next year. I think it's going to be.
I think the thing okay. Here's what.
Yeah, we're at 5 anyway.
I'm gonna put this into 3 different categories. What they should do, what I want them to do, what Harbaugh wants to do. Okay. What they should do is draft Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
What I want them to do is take Brock Bowers.
Yep.
What Harbaugh's going to want to do is take Joe Alt.
Or trade back for more picks.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Which could also be like taking like a different, insert good O lineman here and then,
right.
Followed by another. What would it take to get the 5th pick, do you think? For another team?
Pick swap in next year's first, probably. Pick swap a second and or maybe a third. This year's first, this year's third, and maybe next year's first, depending on where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
If you're Buffalo, do you trade your late pick and next year's first to try to get Malik Neighbors at 5?
Ooh. I don't know if you could jump up that high. You know what I mean? Like it would be really fucking hard. I think if I'm Buffalo,
they could if they gave him next. I bet they could.
I got AD Mitchell sitting right in my fucking basket. I'm sitting right there at 23.
No, this is a good draft. It's a good draft to need a receiver.
I think Xavier Leggette's that guy. I think AD Mitchell's that guy.
McConkey.
I think the top, Lad McConkey's that guy. I mean, there's
Ricky Paracel's nice too. He's like underrated. I feel like Lad McConkey is like white guy receiver overshadowing Ricky Paracel from Florida.
Ricky Paracel is super nice.
He's a dog, and he's got juice too. He's like both. He's not boring route running.
Maybe it's the homer in me, but I think Roman Wilson's that guy too.
I do too.
He's
going to be a pure slot receiver. He's not going to be like these other guys we're talking about. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah. I mean, you can't like if you're the Bills, like no, you can't take like Roman Wilson with your 1st round pick, but you could take him with your 3rd, and now you have, what I mean? Like now you have like. You got AD Mitchell on the outside. You got Roman Wilson in the slot, and then you got
Khalil Shakir to field threats. You have Curtis Samuel to catch underneath.
Quickly, bro. It turns around quickly. That's what.
Well, you and I are both of the belief that they're going to be just fine. But we
I think they'll be totally.
I think
Stephon Diggs is not moving the needle.
So, you think they're going to take Joe Alt then?
No. I think they'll probably take a wide receiver.
Neighbors.
I think Harbaugh. Mind you, when I say what Harbaugh wants to do, I think what Harbaugh wants to do and what who's their GM now?
I don't know, but he's kind of a de facto GM as well, I think, with Jim being there. I think Jim is getting a say in personnel quite a bit. If I'm just looking off of the free agent signings, it's like
that's real.
Fishy here. I don't know. Let's see, your big free agent
Joe Horitz.
Yeah.
Joe Horitz was, let's see. Horitz was hired. Oh, okay. So he's last year's. He was hired in January 24. Oh wait, no. Okay, so he was just hired. What's
Yeah,
his,
he
what's
wasn't.
his,
They fired They fired the guy.
yeah,
who
yeah,
was
yeah.
there
It was Tom.
before.
It was Tom Telesco, right?
F.
Yeah,
Man, they
he's
blew it.
stinky. Let's see. Joe Horitz. Where did he fucking work before?
You and I agree, though, that he is a GM in title only, correct? Like, he's not probably... It's not that he's not going to have a say or have the final say, but he's not a Brad Holmes where he's coming in and... Like, Harbaugh is going to have a lot of say in this draft. And
Harbaugh's going to have quite a bit of say, in my opinion, yes.
Probably more than this guy, yeah? Probably how
come
Los
on.
Angeles brought him there was giving him a say over this sort of personnel situation of being like...
Dude, it never stops. It never stops, bro.
What is it?
Joe Horitz, he's the Los Angeles Chargers general manager, previously the director of player personnel for none other than the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, my God.
And then before that, the director of college scouting for the Baltimore Ravens. And then before that, a scout for the Baltimore Ravens. And then before that, a personal assistant for the Baltimore Ravens. Unbelievable. No wonder they just signed Gus Edwards.
Their equipment manager, I guarantee you their ball boys are like Michigan grads who like interned with the Ravens last year.
Yeah, no,
it's so crazy how those two are so insular, but they're both so good that it sort of works. You know, it's an interesting. We never seen anything like that in the league before. But yeah, I think I don't know if that he wants neighbors.
I don't think he does, but I think. Well, okay. Well, let's get interesting here. Let's look at Horitz, who's a Baltimore guy. They're not huge wide receiver people. Jim Harbaugh, I don't see being a huge wide receiver person.
Bubble?
It sure looks like it. Did it just do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it just?
It did that. I saw. I don't know if I'm not.
No, I saw it too. I
saw
think
one come out of your.
I
your
think
head.
I'm trying to see like how I like.
I don't know how you did that.
Let's think about this for a second.
Yeah,
that's what I said. Let's think about this.
Yeah, let's think about this. Oh, I don't have visual effects on. Maybe that's why. Do you?
I don't think I do either. Maybe I do.
But
okay,
yes, go ahead.
Doesn't that make so we have Baltimore past, we have Jim Harbaugh future. Does that not like scream Brock Bowers to you?
It does. I'm telling you, that's the pick. It's a perfect compromise between Malik Neighbors and trading back or getting some sort of offensive line piece. And their offensive line isn't horrible. They have one of the best tackles.
No, that's good.
In
They have Rashawn Slater. That you have the piece. You
they
need
would
like
want
a different
interior,
piece.
If they were going to take an O lineman, what they would do is trade back and then take the best interior offensive lineman on the board.
But I think you can get. I think you can get a really.
When your weapons are that depleted, I think
you get a really high level guard in the second round with pick
so
5. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a guard. It's not a tackle.
Good there.
I do too.
So take Brock Bowers. Yeah, no, I love Brock Bowers there.
Yeah, I think let's just manifest that because I think it's a great pick.
I'm going Brock Bowers.
He's such a Jim player, right?
He's the most Jim Harbaugh player ever. Yeah,
like it's a bummer that he wasn't a Wolverine because I think he would have really cooked on the Wolverines. Yeah, man.
Well, I think if you look at Jim's tenure at Michigan, like who was like the guy wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like they never really had one. Like Roman Wilson's probably the closest thing.
Our tight ends were always very involved, right?
That's
like
what I mean.
Got drafted by the Cowboys. Hendershot. You know, we had Eric All for a while. He got hurt and transferred. Jake Butt in the early years. Harbaugh always utilizes tight ends. I mean, even like Vernon Davis was, I think, better than Michael Crabtree as a pass catcher. So.
100%.
I believe he was still on that team when Harbaugh was coaching.
Yeah, he was.
So Harbaugh's always utilized tight ends, and so has the other Harbaugh, right? And so has Greg Roman. So it's, I mean, it's go get your Mark Andrews.
You know those two are both living in RVs.
Yes, I do
Los
know
Angeles?
that. Yes, I do know that.
Come on, dude.
Not me coming up with a mic trying to get an interview.
Dude, I swear to God. Hey, I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I do a podcast with Julie.
Really?
I do a podcast with Julie Conlon's son.
Oh my God! No way.
Yeah, right?
Did you see that team photo he posted?
Yeah, I saw the team photo. He's a weirdo. He's a goofball.
Oh, dude, he's such an odd guy. Yeah.
The
Okay. So
tucked
who do
in
we have
long
at six?
sleeve.
We have
6 would be the New York
Oh,
Giants.
that's right. God, I blocked them out mentally. It's so over for y'all.
Yeah.
It's
Drake
up.
May?
It's up. Hey guys, is it going down in New York for the Giants next year? No, it's up.
No. It's
It must be
it's not
summer
going
because
down.
it's like the temperature.
I
It's up.
think I like Drake May here.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
Feels like a Brian Dable
Got to
guy.
do
I
it.
think
Got to do it. I
he's
think it's
gonna get
actually
the
the right
most
pick.
out of him.
Weirdly,
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I do too.
I mean, I think they're similar to New England where they kind of need pieces, but I would argue they have more offensive talent potentially. Like,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, getting rid of Saquon
That
is
was
such
weird.
an L for them because it's like, okay,
That was
what are you
weird.
going to do? They're like, oh, we're going to bring in Devin Suckletary. It's like, okay, good luck.
Terry's crazy. My man said
sucks.
Terry. That's real
He
though.
stinks.
Stop going.
He's so
Hang it
mediocre,
up,
dude. He's so mediocre that Houston like let him walk, and we're like, we're just gonna bring in what's left of Joe Mixon to like make this
What
run.
happened
Like,
to Damon Pierce?
hey, he let some people down. That's what happened. Oh boy, he let some
What in
people
the hell?
down. He fell off a cliff this year. Like he just sucked so bad that Suckletary got in.
That's crazy, bro.
Damian Pierce sucked so bad that they were like, we're bringing in Mike Singletary to take your job fully, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that would be a tough. But Damian Pierce might have a bounce back year and kind of
Yeah.
run tandem with Joe Mixon to kind of keep things like somewhat arranged.
Yeah.
But yeah,
David
I like
Montgomery
I
role.
like Drake May. You can develop him if you keep for however long you keep Dayball.
Yeah.
Please be bad. Fire Dayball. Go coach the Bills. Go coach the Bills. Go coach the
I
Bills.
swear to
Please,
God.
please.
I swear.
I want Josh Allen to get one so badly. I want Burrow to get one more because Burrow's like my guy in terms of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like really, but Josh Allen's the best, man.
I need
outside of obviously
in
Mahomes.
this order. I need Goff to get one. I need Burrow to get one, and I need Josh Allen to get one.
I love that.
Then
If
I
the
need
next
Lamar to
three
get one.
champions were the Lions, the Bengals, and the Bills, I don't know that I could watch football anymore. My house would be
No, it
full
would
of
be over.
ejaculate.
Yeah, it would be over.
I couldn't wear pants. I would just
No,
be
you just-
cumming my pants every Sunday, being like, "Oh my god," because
You could put on your Superman suit though.
yeah. Glad nobody knows what that is.
Oh no.
Nobody's watching. It's okay.
No, it's okay.
I like the idea. I like the idea of just doing Drake May and trying to build just trying to build something there.
Fuck yeah.
Because you don't have a prayer.
Let's
If they
see.
draft Daniel Jones again, oh boy, it's over. It's like really over for like ever.
Cooked.
10 more years.
All right. Tennessee Titans.
Oh,
Yeah.
easy.
Pretty simple. We can
I
just move on,
think-
right? Like, do we have to dissect
Yeah, we
this
can
team?
move on. No, we'll talk
I
about
fucking
them
hate
when
them.
we do. Yeah, we'll talk about them when we do our like preseason talks about like different things. I guess the
Yeah.
long and short of it is they brought in some really interesting pieces in free
Agreed.
agency. They have a new coach. The coach's father is like an all-time offensive line coach.
Yeah.
And they had the worst offensive line in football last year. So the pieces are kind of there. I actually think Levis is better than other people think. So I'm higher on him. And I think if the O-line can be decent next year and Levis can take a step forward and kind of put together the great things into like a functioning quarterback, if you can get a couple more years out of Ridley, if you can get a couple more years out of Pollard,
Yep.
I think that team could be a sneaky, like, wait a minute, like they're competing with the Colts for like the 2 spot.
Yep.
Like Houston's
Yep.
gonna win the division, right? Fine.
Yep.
But the Colt, like the Jags, fuck the Jags. You guys are in timeout until you do something.
The
Dave
Jags
Davis
thought
is
shit
not
was
moving
sweet.
the needle, right? You know, we have these
The
thoughts,
Jags
right?
thought
But
shit was sweet, boy. The Jags thought shit was sweet, and they are
that was the
already
deal.
back.
Almost up.
They're already back in the basement. That's crazy. I think they could genuinely be. I think they could genuinely be 4th in that division next year.
So do I.
I think Houston's gonna win it, but
Tennessee could be 4th in the division, but Tennessee could be a sneaky.
I think Tennessee
like,
has a
wait
better
minute.
roster, though. I think Tennessee
So
has
do
a better roster than
So do
Jacksonville.
I,
Jacksonville
and I don't know. I don't know how much better Lawrence actually is than Will Levis with pieces in a functioning O-line. Like, Will
That's what
Levis
I mean.
is nice. Will Levis
They
can
don't have a
throw the
functioning
ball.
O-line for Trevor Lawrence. They don't have a functioning O-line.
No. Their
They
best
have a
player is
bad
Travis
O-line.
Etienne.
Literally.
What, running back
12?
9, 10?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Maybe bubble top 10. I mean, I still wouldn't even put him like top 10 because, like, when you get to like the later stages, it's like, well, Josh Jacobs still, Derrick Henry still, like,
Yep.
it's like the 11th best running. Like, he's okay.
Yeah.
I think he's good. He's underrated, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's like in that like Rashad White class where it's like, yeah, you're
Yep.
good. Maybe a little bit better than Rashad. I'm disrespectful, but you know what I mean. Who's 8? Falcons? A doomsday.
Falcons.
I'm sorry. Neighbors.
I love it.
Neighbors. We didn't have
No,
neighbors
I
off the
love it.
board yet. Neighbors.
Yeah, that's real.
Neighbors.
I love it. Yeah, run it. Fuck it.
Stop selling me on Darnell Mooney. You brought in a real quarterback
Yep.
who needs pieces. You have a good offensive line. Not transcendent, but good.
It's a good
Let's
offensive line.
see.
It's top 10.
You have a talented tight end. We haven't seen him put it together, but I think he's capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bowers is going to be better than him, though. You have a receiver that you've told me is a star, and I haven't seen it yet. I believe you that it's possible, but I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I think they have but next year could be the year we look up and go, is Bijan the best running back in football? You know, I mean, we love Gibbs. I love Brees. I love a lot of these guys, but McCaffrey's going to be 28. He's getting long in the tooth. The usage is high. Derrick Henry's older.
Mm-hmm.
Mixon's older. We're in that phase now where it's like the new school of running backs. And when I look at Bijan, I'm like, well, the only other guys I see that are sitting at your table are Bijan and Brees right now of the young guys.
Yeah.
Why not you? Why are you not the best? I don't know that. I love the coaching hire. Their defense is okay. I mean, everyone says they should take an edge rush, and that's maybe the best pick for them, like a Dallas Turner, and just like
Fuck that. Take Neighbors. He's there.
Fuck it. Full send.
Yeah.
Full send.
Full send on the offense.
What are we doing? Are we playing football?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, we trying to win games here. Like, I just, like I said, they brought in Darnell Mooney, and everyone was like, oh, they got themselves a 2. It's like, who is Darnell Mooney, bro?
Nah. They got themselves a 1 with the league neighbors. Yeah, they get themselves a 1 with the league neighbors.
Yeah, and then if Drake London is that guy, then great. And that's a problem for the future of being like, can we pay both these guys? But I don't know that Drake. Everyone goes, they can't draft a receiver. They have Drake London. It's like Drake London is not Tyreek Hill. And by the way, the Dolphins have Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, fully.
So like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
He's not AJ Brown. AJ Brown has Devonta Smith. Like,
Devonta Smith.
He's not Debo. Debo has Ayuk. Like, why can't they draft another receiver? Like, we have never seen Drake London be a star. Like, he could be, but it's all speculation. So I like
totally
neighbors.
agree.
Do it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks. What
do
we
these
at?
bums do?
We're
at the Chicago
9.
Bears.
Take a tackle.
Yeah, that's what they should do. They should take like
Or draft the best edge rusher. Do one of those two things.
For Sean Wu or Dallas Turner, I just feel like they're gonna fuck around and take Rome Odunze, and I don't know if that's really what they should do.
I don't think that would be a good pick at all for them.
No, I think it'd be a terrible pick.
I like Rome Odunze, but I don't like if you're serious about these signings, like you have to show me that you like, the reason why they could fuck around and do that, I think it's like, okay, in no world is Rome Odunze the right pick. If you're really serious about this offense, like new Bears, new us, new phone, who this,
you go with it. You get a
don't worry,
right
we're
tackle.
not like. Then show me by getting a tackle, because that's what you need. You had the 19th ranked, according to Pro Football Focus, offensive line last season. Do it that way. If not, if you want to go like do the Bears thing of being like, we're going to get that edge guy, we're going to get that defensive difference maker. That's fine too. Then go Dallas Turner and get that guy who can like make plays.
Dallas Turner across from Montez Sweat is a problem.
Right. And what's the other dirty little secret? If you draft Rome Odunze here instead of those two pieces that I just named, you're kind of admitting to us what I think is true, which like the free agent signings aren't actually that good, are they?
Yeah, no, they're not.
No, they're not, are they?
Well, we're only gonna have Keenan for probably 2 years. We can
2
Rome
years?
can learn underneath. Yeah, yeah, right. 7 games.
2 halves of a year,
Yeah,
1
no,
year
that's real.
over 2 years put together,
That's
one full
facts.
season combined into 2 seasons is what you mean to say?
Yep,
You're not
that's
going to have them
exactly
for
what I
2
say.
full seasons, and I know that, but Bears fans don't know that. They're still
No, they
drinking
don't know
the
that.
Kool-Aid of like we
They're
have.
stinky.
We got Randy Moss over the phone from Oakland, and it's the 2007 Patriots.
Literally.
Like, no, you didn't, dude. He's fine.
No, that's facts.
What are we at now? 10? We're at the last one.
We're at 10. The New York Jets.
Yeah, and it's the offensive line.
Yeah, 100%. It's you run the card up for whoever's left. You know, Fashawn Wu, Fuaga.
What about a Dunze? Can they do it? Will they do it?
That
Will
would be
they
the
do
most
it?
Jets fucking pick of all time. It'd be fire. Don't get me wrong.
I think it would
But-
be, but I don't know that you can trot Aaron out without going and drafting. I mean, they did bring in a very, albeit past his prime and injury prone tackle, a very good tackle. Like
Yeah,
Pats
they
are
did.
like, oh, he's old, he's washed. It's like, yo, if this guy stays healthy most of the year, like he's a very
Yeah.
good. He's a huge loss for Dallas. Huge loss. So
Yeah, I don't know why they let
I
him
don't
walk.
think it's
That was
nothing,
weird.
but I don't know that you can. But man, it's like for Dunze sitting there at 10, and it's like, are we ready? Like their defense is good.
Yeah.
The defense, like, ain't nobody worried about that defense.
No.
That defense is good.
Yeah, they don't need nothing.
Reese is
They
really
need
good. Garrett Wilson's good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, we think, can still.
They don't really have a 2 though. I mean, Rome wouldn't be crazy there.
Sure, they do.
Oh no. No. If the name
Overrated of all time.
if the name like Alan Lazard or Randall Cobb
Oh
or
no, that's not the name I'm thinking of.
What name are you thinking of?
What do you mean, Mike Williams?
Oh, I forgot they signed Mike Williams.
How'd you forget? How'd you
because
forget
he's
about the
forgettable.
GOAT,
That's
Mike
why.
Williams?
Yeah, because
How'd you
he's
forget about
forgettable.
the
Because
huge signing of Mike Williams.
I heard he tore his ACL when signing the paperwork, so he's out for he's gonna be out for the first 9 weeks.
It's so ridiculous what people will convince them. Like,
Oh my
one
God.
thing I think is so interesting
That's so
about fans
funny.
is
I
like they'll
totally
just
forgot.
throw everything out for like the hypothetical of like, what if we get that 3-game stretch from 3 years ago of Mike Williams being an absolute dog and he doesn't get hurt all year, but instead of
Yeah, I
that
think that's the
3-game
thing.
stretch,
I think
the
that's
whole
the thing.
season. It's like, so he's gonna be a Pro Bowler. You really think that? You sure about that?
I think
like, yeah,
that's
no,
the
totally.
thing that I hate the most about Lions fans. This is like a very pinpointed thing that I fucking hate most about Lions fans is like they're always down to bring somebody back from a team that wasn't good. Like the kid CJ Mosley or whatever the fuck his name was got reinstated
Yeah.
today. He was like suspended for gambling last year with like Quintez Cephas and shit. And they're like I saw all day like reunion question mark, like do the Lions bring him back? No, he was gambling and got suspended for a year. Like no, we're not gonna bring him back. You know, Tracy Walker was at the airport today. Oh man, I wish this team had fucking blah, 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 blah. You know, like
Remember when
Quintez Cephas
people were
was
bummed out when we traded Roy Williams to Dallas, and it was just like, no way you guys are broken
perfect
up
example.
about this. You got to be
perfect
kidding
example. We fleeced Dallas, by the way.
me. Remember when we got
He
2
was-
first-rounders and Jared Goff for Matt Stafford, and it was a funeral?
Yeah,
that?
I mean, remember Detroit
Remember that?
Rams?
Remember 2 first-round picks for we picked in the first round twice back-to-back years and got a quarterback who right now, I'm not saying all time, but I'm saying right now, pound for pound,
Is better than Matt
Stafford's out
Stafford.
of his prime.
Yeah.
Goff's in his prime.
I think Goff just entered his prime too. I feel like last
do
year was
too.
Goff's first year of his prime.
I do too. Well, we've built
Where
a
his,
roster.
like-
Roster. Goff needs a roster. He's not one of
100%.
those guys. And that's one thing I will say about Stafford.
got a
to give
roster,
the
baby.
edge to Stafford is that like, I think Stafford has like more arm talent and more wow than Goff does, and like he can do more with less with just like his will of like.
I think if the
throwing
Lions,
football.
but
I think right now, like if you were picking for like just this season, like I get Goff or I get Stafford, I'm taking Goff. So we got that, and we got 2 first rounders. Or
well, we got
4
yeah,
first
we
round
got
picks in 2 seasons.
we got 4. Well, no, we got 4 first round picks, but we also flipped one of those picks into Gibbs
Laporta.
and Laporta. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So with those picks, we got J-Mo, Gibbs, and Laporta.
Yeah.
And then
we got rid of
Iffy, we got
Hawkinson.
Iffy.
We didn't have to pay Hawkinson.
Well, no, we got Iffy in the third with one of those picks. We got somebody else too. Maybe Kirby. I think we maybe got Kirby with one of those picks too. If we win a Super Bowl, it goes down as one of the biggest fleecings of all time. Like everybody right now is like, oh, the Rams won the trade because they won the Super Bowl. Like I don't disagree, but like if we fuck around and win a Super Bowl, that shit's gonna look real lopsided, boy. Like
Maybe, but not necessarily because the Rams were
they won a Super
not
Bowl.
much worse than us last year, even. And I think the Rams are going to be good again. I think the Rams did. I think the Rams did what they wanted to do and needed to do, and they paid the ultimate. They got the ultimate victory out of it. I think to me, I look at it differently. I think it's the most fair trade of all time.
It is the most fair trade of
Like,
all time. I always see people be like, no, 100%. But that's what I say. If we, it's like the pendulum.
You and I agree that we're only good now. Like a huge reason why we're good now is because of that trade. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Right. But
100%.
you and I also agree that the Rams won the Super Bowl that season largely because of the addition of Matt Stafford and how electric he was with Kupp and those boys and how good that offense was immediately. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Because at that point, Stafford greater than Goff.
100%. Not even close.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can see like what
It's very
it looks like now. What did the Lions get for Stafford? Update 2023. Okay, the final results. Here we go. Okay, so they got Matt Stafford. We got Jared Goff in that trade too. That was forgotten about.
I'm saying, not by me. Like we absolutely ate that trade, but they did too. Like they got the best player in the deal and won a ring year one. Like I can't
2021.
I can't say it's ever going to be a fleece.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
But you're right. I mean, if we host the Lombardi, it does feel like a win.
Iffy Melifonwu. 2022, we got Jamison Williams and Josh Pascal. 2023, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, and Broderick Martin.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2,
and Jared Goff.
3, 4, 5, 6 starting players. 1, 2, 3, 4 of which who are like huge pieces. J-Mo probably will be this year.
But if you're the Rams, you have a Super Bowl trophy.
No, 100% you do.
So it is one of those things where it's like, in order for me to ever sort of say, like, we won the trade, we have to win a championship.
You have to.
Because, like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's the ultimate thing. It's like, we didn't win shit if we haven't won a ring. But if you want my honest view about it, I think I would pull the trigger on that trade 10 times out of 10. You know, it was the right move for us. And the only reason we are where we are right now is because of that trade. Period.
100%. Period.
But yeah, let's go over the top 10 one more time before we close this thing out. And we'll get out of here because we've been on for a long time. We are going to have to.
Right now?
2 hours.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we got
Caleb
Williams.
number 1.
We got JD5-2.
Yep.
We got a trade out with the Vikings for JJ McCarthy at 3.
Yep.
There's Charlie.
Yep.
We got Marv at 4.
Yep.
We got Brock Bowers at 5.
Yep.
We got Drake May at 6.
Yep.
We got Joe Alt at 7.
Yep.
We got Malik. We got Malik Neighbors at 8.
Yep.
We got a guard at 9. Whoever.
Yep.
Fashawn Wu maybe. Well, we didn't really pick one. We just said the best guard available. And then, did we really agree on 10? I mean, do we go guard? Do you go guard or do you go roam?
I'm going to say Rome.
Yeah, facts.
I think they should go O-line, but I think they're going to go Rome, dude. He's a real talent prospect coming out, and they aren't like that deep at weapon.
No, that's real.
Like Garrett Wilson's
All right,
not Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean?
No,
It's not
hell
like
no.
that kind of thing. Although I do love me some G Willie.
No, I'm with you.
All right, my man. I will. I'll get with you guys soon, and yeah, to everybody fake watching this, thank you.
Dude.
Deuces.